Shades of Viridian by Austin Castle. Chapter 1. Above, the rustling canopy of limbs and leaves blotted out a significant number of stars, but the shimmering curtains of the Aurora Veil cast enough rainbow light through the gaps to allow the trapper to work. The wavering glow of green, pink, dark red, blue, and purple spotted the cage as he latched down the wire door and slowly retracted his hands, careful not to set off the spring-loaded mechanism. His arms free, he stood up and stretched his back. "Last one," he finally acknowledged. "Hopefully most of them will be jiggling full of blaze hairs by tomorrow afternoon." His quarry were not particularly coveted in the Viridian markets, but catch enough of them and the silver stacked up, especially in the north. Blazehair cloaks suitably insulated in the depths of winter, and though the hunter never really cared for it, blazehair meat was a favorite among the Mothfang people because of its spice. Placing his tools in the wooden cart, the hunter slid on his weathered leather coat and grabbed the two handles that extended from the cart bed. He pulled the cart behind him, and its two wooden wheels creaked as they wobbled along the forest floor. The dark woods unnerved the hunter a little. He rarely set traps so late into the evening, but he wasn't terribly far from Illyrian's outer walls, and his large skinning knife had recently been sharpened. The cart was much easier to pull now that it was unloaded, so he was able to cover the distance faster than he had that afternoon. To calm his nerves, he hummed the first half of Betty's Pouches, the only part of the song he knew. Despite his humming, he could hear his stomach grumble. Hopefully Marla's stew is still warm. The veil's colors continued to flitter upon the ground, but they were becoming more diffused with each step, blurring and softening both on the grass as well as the air, like light passing through an old dirty window. "My eyes must be as tired as my back," he thought, shaking his head. He dropped the cart handles and wiped his eyes with the cuffs of his jacket. Still, the colors were blurring. The trapper bent down to retrieve the handles once more, but then he stopped. His boots were blurry too, and whitening. "Sick mist," he gasped. Channeling his fear into adrenaline, he snatched the handles and scrambled forward, pulling the cart behind him as it bucked over the uneven ground. In every direction, a white fog was thickening, as though a fire burned beneath the earth, sending smoke through its cracks. The puffy blanket plumed around the hunter's quickening steps, swirling in undulating eddies away from him and his cart as he fled. Before long, the ground was no longer visible, leaving the hunter to guess where his footfalls would land each time he thrust his leg into the mist. "Just have to make it to the wall," he thought desperately, trying to ignore the sting in his legs. Suddenly, his right foot came down on the side of a rock, bending his foot inward and toppling him to the ground. The mist, displaced by the hunter's body, splashed away for a moment, rolling and dissipating where it was thinnest. The cart slammed into his bottom half, punting him into a somersault like a ball in snow. For a moment, all he could see was swirling white. Then he pushed his upper torso above the fog, and the forest came into view. Movement caught his eye, and he looked around him. In the mist, little holes started to appear, tiny punctures from above. It didn't take him long to realize they were footsteps, even though whoever was making them was hidden from his sight. The hunter's ankle was sprained at the least, probably broken, but it didn't matter. He had to get up. Gritting through the pain, he forced himself upright. Part of his trousers were torn at the knee, and some matted blood indicated quite a scrape. Deciding to leave the cart behind, the hunter limped eastward, his breathing raspy and hoarse. Hobbling forward was difficult, especially since one foot now had to take the total brunt of the uneven ground. His back, ankle, and knee throbbed with piercing pain as he stumbled forward. Still, it was better than being caught by whatever was chasing him, as if he didn't know what they were. He turned his head to look behind him. The footsteps from the invisible predators followed him, closing in the distance rapidly. For a brief moment, he thought he could see their silhouettes, like giants with wings. To his right, one managed to overtake him, and though the trapper ducked away, the shadow's long arm managed to reach him. The last thing he felt was a searing sensation across his chest, and then the veil, along with the glittering sprinkle of stars, dimmed to black.